either get on the boat and have a good time and realize that, most of us are walking wounded, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Like I said something on Facebook where I mentioned about all the see-through clothing. Now, if everybody was naked and wearing see-through clothing, including the men, it would be ecstatic and fun, and I would get it. It's a good trend. Everyone's showing their bits. But it's only the girls, and it really bothers me because it feels very uncreative and it feels thirsty. And I'm going to say something like, and I think she's probably she's probably a sweet woman, but like when I look at someone like J Lo or Madonna, even, it's like they're still pushing the sex thing. And there's something sort of sad about that. Like I get intrinsically sad. And sometimes I think, God, I wish I had all their money. But then I go, well, but I'm so happy. And I don't have all the pressure to keep booming and pushing that. I don't know. It's like I want to say, like, are they successful at the end of the day? Like, are we doing this because we like it, or are we doing this because we want to be loved? I think it's a combination.
I was going to say maybe a little bit of both or a bit of both.
Yeah, yeah. And why don't we start with love? Why don't we just be in love? And then would you do this? Like that's what I had to ask myself. Like, would I do this gig and be in this game if I had if I had all my voids filled, if I had all those, existential angst, if I had it all healed, would I still be doing this? I wouldn't.
And another question is would your creativity or your creative output be the same if you weren't in that state?
It would be very different. And now it's different because I only work with people I love. I only do things that I absolutely adore. And if it's going to be fun and if it's going to be something crazy different,
Okay. And that makes, you know what? And that is a great segue because for you, in terms of that, and I mentioned this earlier, I'm excited to chat with you because I've kind of had the pleasure of growing up on a lot of your projects. I just turned 50, so I'm right in that pocket. Many of them made a very long-lasting impact on my life, specifically Soul Man and Beat Street, just to name a few. So this conversation that we're having right here, please definitely consider this my way of giving you all the flowers that you rightly
thank you.
deserve for everything that you've done. And I got to say, every character I've seen you play, you brought so much depth to that performance. And just based upon, the information you just gave to me, I can understand why in terms of that.
Well, and I have to tell you, every time I ever did anything, I always tried to make it special.
I
I
could,
always tried to make them multi-layered. I always tried to take it out of the playing my race, obviously, but playing a person, a soul, a multi-dimensional being, because it's tough. I came up in the era of Farrah Fawcett. They didn't want anyone that looked like me, and I would have been, I don't know. And then, yeah. But I want to talk about Obama for just a second. I think that he was such he motivated so much inspiration and so much care and so much love. And in a country that's based on in a country system like the United States that's based on white supremacy, he absolutely threw a wrench in the works. And all the superpowers that are behind all the Christian nationalists and all the dark billionaires who are super super racist and run a lot of it, of the country, and they just lost their cookies. So I love that Obama had 8 years to show us and to heal the community, because he did heal the community. We needed to know, we needed to remember that we were kings, that we are queens, and that we are kings, and that we have run things, and that we are probably the African was probably the builder of Egypt. The Egyptians came after the Africans, for instance. Like the ancient history that has been suppressed about the African, that we don't get taught, that people don't know. All we get is this tiny little window of just butchered history. And the reality is the black man is probably, well, for sure, is the original human being.